Good morning, it's Saturday, it's just before 4:30, so a really early one today to get to parkrun. I'm going on a family holiday to Devon today, so I thought I'd get up and go down and do a parkrun in the area before the holiday starts. So a few hours now of driving to get there, and I'll check in and show you where I am when I get there. So I've arrived, I've come today to Simmons Park parkrun in Oakhampton, so I'll be looking at the accessibility as I go around the course. So let's go. To park for this course, use the Simmons Park car park, which is just to the right of the access to Oakhampton College. At the far end of this parking, there are 2 blue badge spaces. The car park is free for blue badge holders. Everyone else there is a charge, which is 70p for 1 hour and £1 for 2 hours. Once parked, it is around 300 metres to get to the pavilion in the park, where you meet for parkrun. There are toilets in the pavilion, both general toilets and an accessible toilet that doesn't need a radar key. It is a bit of a step up to get into the building, but I managed it okay. Inside it is fully accessible and the toilet was basic but nice and clean. The briefing takes place at the start line, which is about 50 metres from the pavilion, heading back in the direction you came from the car park. It's quite a narrow path, so some runners start on the grass on the right. I started on the left-hand side here. The surface along this start is loose gravel paving. From the start, you head back towards the pavilion and take a left to run alongside the building. This section is really rough surface, so just be mindful. The path then bends right, followed by another left, and this is the bottom of a gentle slope. With all the rain we'd had, the path was completely flooded across the whole width, so there was no avoiding it. It soaked straight through my gloves, and the spray from my wheel also got the camera wet, so the footage is a bit blurrier than normal. The path then starts to climb. It begins fairly gradual, but it's muddy and uneven, which makes it harder work. It bends right and becomes a little steeper for about 10 metres, then flattens as you go through a gap in the fence. After that, the incline starts again, this time on smoother tarmac, but it's still slow going. This becomes a long, steady climb for about 100 metres. The path here is very narrow, so be mindful of other park runners. You go through another gate, staying on the narrow tarmac with open grass either side. The path loops right, then left, before another fairly steep incline of around 20 metres. At the top you enter a wooded area. The path becomes single file with lots of twigs and debris. Through a narrow gate there's a cone marking a short burst uphill, followed by an almost 180-degree turn to head back down. As I approached this, it felt pretty sketchy. I tried to slalom to slow myself down, but the surface was slippery, and at one point I was heading straight towards a steep drop into a pond, and I definitely wasn't fancying a swim this morning. So I just pointed myself straight down the rest of the descent. Luckily, because of the slow start, there weren't many parkrunners around me, as that would have been really hard to also have to try and navigate around people. You're now on a muddy woodland path with lots of debris. Then you cross a bridge which takes you out into an open field. Follow the compacted gravel path on the left side of the field until it ends, then turn right onto the grass. The course description didn't mention this grassy section, so I wasn't expecting it, and with how wet it was tough going. You stay on the grass for about 200 metres. Keep to the left here as it slopes up to the right. You then take a left turn downhill back onto another woodland path. This section is a slight downhill, which gives your arms a bit of a break, but the surface is rough so you don't get much momentum. The path winds along for about 500 metres before you turn left over a narrow bridge, then right onto a smooth tarmac section. About 50 metres in, you join part of the course that you'll run multiple times. To your right there may be parkrunners crossing a bridge and joining you, so just be mindful. I was able to pick up a bit more speed here because the surface is flat and smooth. The path then slopes down before climbing a steady incline. This is a switchback section, so stick to the left as runners coming back will also be keeping left. You reach the edge of the park at a tight 180-degree turnaround. You have to slow right down, spin around and head back the way you came, again keeping to the left. You then take another left turn over another narrow bridge, bringing you back into the car park. Part of it is coned off, so follow that round to the right and rejoin the path, keeping right to avoid a bollard. This brings you back onto a field where you follow the compacted earth path with the field onto your left for about 300 metres before turning right over another bridge. You're now back on the earlier section of the path, so be aware there may be slower runners here. You repeat this whole middle loop twice more, so I've sped up the footage here. On the final time around the field, instead of crossing the bridge, you carry straight on with the field to your left. This takes you all the way round past the children's play park. After this, the path loops left, then right up a short, sharp incline. As it flattens, take a left and head towards the bandstand. Here you turn right, running around the bandstand on your left, along a cobbled path. This brings you past the leisure centre building, which you keep to your left, then through a narrow gate out into a field. Turn left onto the smooth tarmac path. You'll see the finish funnel here, but there's still another loop to go. Run past the funnel and around the back, turning right onto some artificial grass. This was completely soaked and very spongy, so not easy to get over. This brings you back out by the pavilion. Pass it on your left, then turn right towards the start line. Go past the start line and take a tight right through a narrow gate, back onto the earlier path to the bandstand. At the bandstand, turn right again along the cobbled path, past the leisure centre and out onto the field. This time you finally head into the finish funnel. It's on grass. I've stayed on the tarmac for as long as I could, but had to dip onto the grass for the final few metres. The barcode scanners are also on the grass. I was very thankful to cross the line today. Aside from the middle section that you repeat, which is actually quite nice, this was a really tough course. My time was 35 minutes and 57 seconds, finishing 150th out of 175 park runners. So that's me done today here from Simmons Park parkrun. A really hard course today. There was one part that was really quite hairy and probably a little bit dangerous for me, but I got round and it was still very fun. So let me know if you've done this one down below, and I'll see you next week for the next one.